Well, hello. I am coming back to you, kind of like last time where I'm like, I haven't been on here in forever, and I haven't been on here in forever. Hmm. I mentioned last time that I've been dealing with a little bit of depression, and I've been experiencing it again. I mean, one thing is that, hi, I'm gonna get ready today. Okay, I'm out of practice. I'm gonna look at the camera. Okay? I really appreciate those who have reached out and said you miss me. Honestly, you're the motivation I had today to get on here and film. I'm getting ready today, and I figured I would talk to you. I did get some questions on Instagram I want to answer. And we'll just, chat about life because it's been a while and my room is messy and I'm not going to worry about it because that's why I haven't been filming. I mean, amongst other things. But anyways, I'm going to use my Hanalei Aloe Moisturizer. Hi, hello, how are you? It's been a minute. It's been a long minute. Lola's licking herself over here. And I haven't filmed, and there's a lot of reasons. I talked to you last time or before about how quarantine has made me a bit depressed, and the thing is that I'm realizing is what's happening is I'm going through a lot of waves, going through quicker waves of highs and lows than I've ever experienced before, which can be a bit jarring. So like I started seeing my family again, started feeling very happy again. Went to the beach with my friends, felt good while I was at the beach. When I came home, I quarantined for 2 weeks just to make sure I wasn't going to get anybody sick and just to see, I'd traveled. I didn't know what would happen from that. Wow. Quarantining by myself for 2 weeks sure did put me back in a downward place. And then also I was teaching in July, and I was teaching my first, fully Zoom oriented class. So there was a lot of that, and I realized pretty quickly that I'm struggling with my personal motivation, and it is different teaching students online. It was a good class, and I feel like I connected to them pretty well, but it's very different than what would typically have happened, which is that I would have seen them every day, Monday through Friday. And I am struggling with any desire to do anything. Any desire to clean, any desire to make myself look nice, any desire to work on things. I feel fatigued. And that's also because I'm having some like minor health issues. I've always had inflammatory issues. I've always had anxiety and inflammatory issues. Inflammatory issues in my digestive tract especially. So I don't have Crohn's or anything. Well, they're going to check for that, but they don't believe I have Crohn's. But I have just what they call chronic colitis, and I've had EGD issues or esophageal issues. I had an EGD done. I don't know all the technical terms, sorry. So I just recently had an EGD and a colonoscopy. That's fun. Hello, this is TMI Corner. And they're looking into that. And I'm a little bit anemic. So I'm fatigued. Like I'm like bodily not doing well and mentally kind of low. And I also feel like that's starting to affect my relationships. I'm starting to kind of have thoughts of like, oh, I'm being a burden. I'm taking away from the fun, etc. And so all I want to do is kind of hole in on myself and be like, okay, well then interact with people when you feel better, and you just stay home and like recharge and all that stuff. So I'm not like in the best place, and it actually makes me feel really sad to say that. But that's just where it is. I'm trying to have a lot of patience with myself and not feel bad about it. But I do feel a little bit bad. Let's try all new makeup. I mean, the thing is, I'm doing a makeup video. I have lots of new things from like BoxyCharm and stuff. So I have this thing. I've never tried it before. QMS Active Glow Tinted Day Cream, which I kind of want to put on because I think I'll be going outside. This is a light wear thing, but I'm also like, we're doing a video. I might want to put a little eyeshadow on, so maybe I should do more full coverage. And this is where I have the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie that I found through Raw Beauty Christie. Let's just go ahead and go for this. I'm gonna do a video, so like, might as well put the makeup on their face, you know? I will say, I typically use Falscara, which is what you see when I'm doing typical makeup. I still find that to be the best one. It's really cheap and kind of like off-brandish, but this is good. It looks drier on my skin, so like maybe it'll be better whenever it's not summertime. It also tends to like, you have to put it on really fast because it dries in place, but we'll still use it. It's still good. So anyways, even right now, I'm like, I'm starting this video and it's effing depressing. Like, who wants to listen to this? But I'm just gonna be me, and you know, sometimes we have down months, and that is okay. All right, so this 4-in-1 thing. The main thing I know is that it has a pump, but it also has this like wand, because it's a concealer and a foundation. I like using the wand because, again, it dries really quickly, and so being able to place it somewhere specific and go like straight in is pretty helpful. I got this at Ulta. They don't have as many color options as they do online. I got matched to a color online that I think would have been perfect. And this is close. It's a little bit more yellow than my actual skin tone. And I've mentioned this 80 times, but like I have hirsutism, which means I have facial hair. I've actually started doing like at-home IPL. I've only been doing it for 2 weeks. Really interested to see if that actually does anything to the hair. So I always kind of start there because I might need more coverage there than anywhere else. So that is the coverage. I would say it's pretty dry formula. It dries down really quickly. So anyways, and I'll say even this, I'm someone that watches YouTube too, and I'm not finding much on YouTube that I want to watch, and part of the reason I created videos was because I wanted to be part of the community here on YouTube. Some people are away for lots of reasons. Gabriella Fortunato, I like her channel a lot. Her father passed away. So I'm missing her content, and of course she needs to take all the time she needs to take. Natalie has been off and on. I think we're all feeling it, because I think we're all off. Like, it's not just me not posting stuff. There's a lot of people not posting things. Oh my gosh, my trunk club. Oh, I have a trunk club right now. I don't think I'm gonna film it. It's boring. It's bad. Trunk club has not been good lately. So like partly like some of the stuff that I would typically film, I realize there's a lot, like the pandemic is affecting a lot of things. To me, they're just like, their stock is not good right now. And so I'm not getting good stuff. Someone had said they had a really good box, so I decided to get another one, and just, I'm not going to keep anything, you know? I went from like, Danielle would pull me some like really cool girl stuff to now I'm looking like, you know, they want to dress me like I'm a kindergarten teacher or, you know, 90 years old. What happened? Nordstrom, I used to get really cool stuff, and now I'm getting really plain things, or I'm getting evening wear, because we all know I'm going to evening wear events right now, or I'm getting just really mumsy looking clothes. And you know, I just don't understand, based on the previous things I've kept, why they're sending me what they're sending me. And they no longer have you with a set stylist. And so I think they're just, you know, I've gone back, and this is what I've complained about with other companies, is they're sending me what they think fat girl fashion is, and I'm not about it right now. This is not my kind of fat girl fashion. So it just is what it is. I do have plenty to tell you. People have asked me some questions that I want to make sure I get to, including dating, because I have tried to date some. Keyword being try. You'll get there whenever I tell you my stories. It's if you follow me on Instagram, you know a little bit, but it's not been easy out here, you know. It's not been easy to try to date beyond just normal it's not easy to, you know, live life during a pandemic. Dating has been an interesting little experience lately. I will say this foundation takes me like double the time to put on because it dries so quickly. And like, it's already getting a little bit flaky on my nose. I don't know if you can see it. And I don't know if you can see here where it looks kind of like scaly. My Fuera does not do that. And so I don't know, it's maybe it's better for people with oilier skin. I just try, I still use it because I bought it. You know, this thing's like 40 some dollars. And I just make sure to hit it real hard with some setting spray and try to moisten it back up. Okay. I am going to go one more time over my chin. I will say I have been shopping a lot still. Really been enjoying Fabletics. Old Navy just had an activewear sale, and I do share this stuff on my Instagram. Old Navy just had an activewear sale, and I got a bunch of stuff there. That should come soon. Maybe I'll do a haul of that because I got a bunch. And then Danielle, as her parting gift to me, I had complained because Trunk Club kept sending me clothes in the wrong size. They were sending me clothes in like an 1820. Well, I'm not an 1820. And she finally figured out what they were doing wrong with Good American, because Good American, their size 26 is a size 7, and they were sending me a 4. So I asked them to send me, she talked to them, and she got them to send me one of the Good American dresses in a size 7, which is a size 26, and that thing fit really well. So I did get that, and I really like it. I want to try more Good American stuff now in a size 7, their dresses. And then I also bought some stuff from Walmart and Target to do a video, and then I never did the video. So we'll see. I need to go look and see if they even have those items for sale anymore, because if not, I don't really see the purpose. I might just, I mean, there's some things I kept because I liked it a lot. There's some things I'm okay with returning. So best laid plans just have not gone through, guys. And part of it is because, again, like, I've just been kind of struggling and my house is not clean and all those things. Forgot to say, this is the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye, and I really like it for under eye. I feel like it's kind of tacky, and so it seems to like just sit nicely. I'm going to take a little bit of powder. This is HD Flawless Absolute New York. I got this in like probably a BoxyCharm or something. And I really like this powder. I don't like a lot of powders, but I do like this one. And I don't do a ton of powder because I already have dry skin. I don't need to overly dry my skin. But I do like to set that. Okay. This is where we're going to get into some new stuff. Let's see. So you haven't actually seen this yet, but my friend gave this to me. Lovecraft Beauty. I've never heard of it. I was telling her that I kept trying to find a bronzer, and I've used this pretty good amount. I kept trying to find a bronzer that didn't like have a ton of shimmer in it, and everything had shimmer. I don't like shimmer on my face, especially on my cheek area, because I do have a lot of texture here, and like, I don't need emphasis on the texture of my cheek. And I just don't want like a face that is shimmery all the way around. But I really like this bronzer. It goes on very soft. You can apply it and, you know, move it around. And I'll have to go look, because again, like I am using this a pretty good amount. I'm probably gonna have to get some more. So I need to go find out where they sell this. And for some reason on like this side, it always like just looks a little bit more natural, and on this side it's like, do you guys like, maybe it's because I'm doing it left-handed and I definitely don't have as much, grace or ease of movement in my left hand as much as I do in my right hand. I usually put on a pretty good amount of bronzer because this somehow like disappears by the time I'm done. Like the overabundance of it. It all, you know, it all melts in at some point. Okay, now that I've whined about my life, don't expect it to stop, but now that I've done like my general whining, I am going to go pull the questions. Be right back when we go see the questions. Okay, so the first few questions were about teaching, and so they were about, how do you feel about teaching in the fall? I'm overwhelmed. Have you set up a home office? How are you going to bring Black Lives Matter into your teaching? Because I talked about that on Instagram. And there was another one. I'll go back and check it, and I'll put them on the screen for you. So let's just talk about the fall first. So I'm sure you're seeing a ton of news articles right now about schools going back and what that means for people. It has been interesting. I think actually this is a bronzer. Wander Beauty. Yeah. This is a blush and a bronzer. That's a bronzer apparently. But I'm gonna use the blush. There's been a lot of news stories about what schools are doing and how things are gonna be affected in the fall. And I am lucky because I'm not in a public high school, you know, kind of situation. I'm in a university, and the university definitely wants there to be, you know, some campus presence because that's what students are wanting themselves. There's pressure on a government level to have in-person things, and financially, they rely on a lot of, you know, in-person use of campus amenities. You know, they earn money through people eating on campus. They earn money through people living, people doing activities. That's how, you know, they earn money outside of tuition and things. So there's definitely a lot of pressure to do things on campus. And what I'm noticing, well, for me, I get to teach my class online in the fall, so I don't have that. I do, however, run a tutoring center, and I am looking at the biggest number of tutors I've ever had. Usually I have about 17 tutors because the class size is really small. We changed the class time this year and we really recruited, and we have 25 people in the class alone. Plus I have like 6, 7 returning workers. Plus I have a marketing intern. Plus I'll have front desk staff. This is the largest group of people I've ever managed, and I'm managing them in a semester where nothing is normal. And it does get me a little anxious. And at the same time, money is hard to come by. A lot of things are unknown. Typically, like, I can rehire my front desk staff, and I was really looking forward to doing that. They worked with me last year. They were great. I wanted to rehire them, and then they did not get the funding. And so I either have to rehire new people and train them, but I can't even get people to apply to the position. So what does that mean for me? Like, if I can't hire these students, does that mean I need to be at the front desk every moment of the day? You know, and that means a very different working environment than I'm used to. Am I going to have to be available online all the time? We're open till 11 p.m. at night some nights. This is all kind of scary to me. I don't feel like I'm getting the resources needed to completely do things like normal. And yet I know nothing is happening like normal. Like, I'm going to probably have to let that go. Okay. So I just got this in my BoxyCharm. So why don't we use this? This is the Violet Voss Essentials 2. I think I got her Essentials 1 and I did not like it. And I thought about, like, do I want to keep this one? Because I'm not great at eyeshadow. But I like this top row. You know, the safe stuff. I also like this. I also like this. I don't know about this. That's not, you know, those aren't my colors. I don't really do those. But why don't we try the other ones? And then they also gave me in my BoxyCharm a whole set of eye brushes. They're all Morphe. Let me grab, I think it's a set of 4. Was it this one? Yeah. Yeah. So I got this in BoxyCharm as well. So why don't we do this? I'm going to go in with this one first, which looks kind of, you know, like a fluffier, more precise brush. And why don't I just go ahead, you know, I watch makeup tutorials. I'm not good at it. I'm going to do beige and then clay. So basically, we're a month out. My school's starting late. And I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm not sure I'm going to have the staff I'm used to having. I'm going to have a lot of new staff, and they're all going to work online. So I do worry about them understanding their job enough to do it. That I do get 3 weeks to train them before they start doing it. So I've made a lot of plans for what that looks like. That clay color is really pretty. So I'm nervous. I'm very nervous about fall. At the same time, I have had the ability to make the decisions to keep everything online. And so I have a little bit more control over some things. And I can also feel like I've protected people. So there's that at the moment. I was talking to someone who I follow on Instagram, and we both work in higher ed. And I think she said it perfectly. It's like decision fatigue. Feels like decision fatigue. Every day I'm like, it's something, you know, I'm having to make a decision, having to make it quickly. And then the plans change, and I have to make another decision. And then also worrying, there's like pressure to make a certain kind of decision. I'm going to go in with this chocolate brown, which is like this really deep color. I'm going to go with the pointed brush, this one, and kind of just, you know, a little right there. So those things all make me nervous. For the fall, also the class I'm teaching is going to be on Zoom. It's going to be online, and I'm co-teaching it. So like, not only do I have, just, you know, teaching on on a platform that's different than I typically teach, although I did get to teach this summer on Zoom and get some of that underneath my belt. I am not teaching a class by myself. That means a lot of compromise. And it also just means like sometimes this class doesn't feel like my class. And that is something about my job that I'm personally struggling with. Higher ed has a lot of politics behind things for good reason in some ways. But like, I have my master's, I do not have a PhD. And the class I'm teaching is mixed with graduate students. So I cannot teach the class by myself, even though it's about the tutoring center that I do, and even though I'm the director of that. And so I'm having a personal struggle at the moment of, why am I directing something that I'm not trusted to teach, that I cannot teach on my own, that I will forever have to have someone there to validate my ability to teach it. That's something I'm struggling with. And there's lots of other things that it affects in terms of my ability to do certain things, but and have autonomy, have agency in my own center. And I also am just fatigued from the job a little bit, from running the center. So I'm really highly considering rolling out of that position at some point, which typically if you're a lecturer, you don't stay in it forever. And I think it'd be good for them to get someone who's tenure track who would have the ability to do this stuff, and run it autonomously. You know, I think that has to happen. And I used to not understand it until I was in the position that I am in. So there's that stuff. I have set up my home office. It's messy. My whole house is messy. By the way, this is my eye right now. They blended really well, and I think it's very pretty. I'm going to go into this rose gold and just, you know, put a little something on the lid. But like, I think that's pretty. By the way, I'm boring So I'm trying new things, but I'm still being boring with my makeup. This does not, the rose gold does not come off well with a, I wonder if the copper does. Copper's pretty. Copper comes off a little bit better with a brush. That copper's very red, you can't see it. I'm going to go with my finger. I'm going to do rose gold though. This rose gold's pretty. It has a shift, a major shift to pink, which, you know, is rosy. I'm going to be going to my parents. They're going to be like, wow, you put in a lot of effort to come and see us. Okay. So those are just some things happening with fall. You know, things are changing. I have no idea if I'm going to have the staff I need. I'm going to be training people completely online. But luckily I have people who are going to, you know, I do have my associate director who is a great support system. I feel bad for her because, again, right now I'm not in the best place and I really need to work on that. So it doesn't affect her. As far as bringing Black Lives Matter into the classroom, one thing is when this with bringing Black Lives Matter in my classroom, I feel like I'm in kind of a perfectly poised place to do so. My class studies language, writing, and power dynamics and how people shape language and use it. And so, you know, already, and granted, Black Lives Matter has been happening for years, that particular movement. But prior to that, I had already been teaching literacy studies, which teaches the fact that there are privileged ways of talking, speaking, and that those have often been withheld from groups that have been disenfranchised, and that there has been a lack of respect and a lack of value of other language differences, and how groups might be using language differences of their own language to burst those power dynamics or to regain a power within themselves, within their own community, within those language practices. And we see this in the fat community with people using the word fat, right? Like we're trying to retake something that's been used against us. And so I have already, for a while, you know, used a lot of readings that talk about how language can be used as a weapon, and how understanding language and using it for our own needs can then give us agency. So whenever it comes to like inquiry, I've had my students look at names, and I'll give them a couple different readings about names and what happens with them. So like one of those readings might be about how names on resumes are read with bias and prejudice. The history of where different cultural names have come from. There's a YouTube video about where Black names have come from and how a lot of assumptions come from what is considered a Black name, but it traces like historically like the French impact on names. So that was interesting. I have them watch a video about a guy who was called a slur. He was called the F word, and he talks about how that slur was used in a way to label him, and yet at the same time hearing the label, knowing that there's a set of people known as this, called this, also helped him realize he wasn't alone in that. I think actually that's something that has happened with me with the word fat too, is like, you're not the only one, so where are those people? And that was kind of his experience of, okay, where can I understand this identity of mine better? So I've had things like that. What I haven't had is something where I say like, what do you want to do with your language? And I've had it in similar ways, like we do inquiry, we do research. I've had it in ways of like, what are you doing with your research and how are you affecting the world through it? But perhaps haven't focused in on advocacy groups and why it might matter to study them. Like I've had students research Black Lives Matter, but I've never like brought Black Lives Matter to my classroom and asked them to think about ways information gets shared and why. There's someone on Instagram that goes by the name Titus Animates, and they create these like quick little videos that it's like a series called Stats That Matter. And what they do is they reposition data to help us make sense of why things are the way that they are right now, and also just what's happening in the world. But they're focusing on data that's often, either ignored or they're focusing on data that matters for Black Lives Matter movement. And so I have asked permission to like share those, and collected some that I want to show, because a lot of my class on the research portion is like, what are you doing with data and how do we use data? And then for the tutor training course, luckily, again, my field has been talking about this and talking about how certain institutional structures are racist and what to do whenever a teacher gives apparently racist feedback, what to do whenever you're working with someone who has very different language experiences and knowledge than you. And so we're gonna bring articles in about that, but there's actually articles right now about anti-racist writing center work, so I can bring those in directly and make them part of our tutor training. So we'll be doing that as well. Every year I do see this stuff in action at the university. Disproportionately, Black students are given financial aid, which matters, but they're given disproportionately. My Black students end up in positions that are called federal work study positions, which means they've gotten some government assistance with money, but those positions by nature are like front desk, receptionist type work, whereas my students who are white and or hold more privileged positions are able to take on internships, are able to take on positions like the tutor, who has a lot of different experiences and knowledge bases in order to do that work. And so like this is something I see people being put into two separate things based on financial need, and how that orients them towards different skills, how those skills get marketable after college, and how they have different values, economic value systems placed on it. I see this stuff every day. I can't ignore it. And so that is all stuff that we're thinking about, and in terms of recruitment as well for our tutors. I think at the moment we have the most diverse set of tutors we've ever had. Again, I don't know why this face is different, but like this face really gets a little pocket right here whenever I put on makeup. Maybe it's just like extra dry, extra adhesive-y, whereas this one does a little bit better in terms of mixing. I like the dark brown where like eyeliner would go. That's good. I like that palette pretty well. I think it worked pretty well. I'm talking too much, not answering enough. The other question was about remote learning and how that has changed anything. It changed everything. I mean, the thing I think is that a lot of times I have been inundated with article after article about remote learning and how I need to be doing XYZ. It's overwhelming. I think us teachers need to remember we know how to teach. Like sometimes I'm on these Facebook groups called like pandemic pedagogy. Sometimes I see these posts and I'm like, these people have decided they just don't know how to teach anymore. I know how to teach, and I think we have to like really lean on that. And I think partly some teachers are a little bit more freaked out because maybe their preferred style doesn't work as well online. But I know how to teach. I know how to have a discussion. I know how to scaffold things. I know how to teach. And I think for me, honestly, the best combination has been working between high tech like Zoom, and I use a lot of like Google Docs type stuff in my classes because it allows students to get on there together and like write together, and low tech. I do journals, and things that they're writing on their own. We need to remember that like we can't overwhelm them. Sending them to like 80 different websites is not going to help anybody learn better. And so I think really picking what's going to do the best stuff for you and sticking with it and remembering you know how to teach. And don't feel like I suddenly have to learn how to teach all over again. You don't. You know how to teach. Think about how you teach and think about how to translate it into an online world. That has saved my sanity. And I think it's actually the thing I'm struggling a little bit with when it comes to doing this, like, co-teaching, is I don't want to change everything in the world. And I think other people are more willing to. And I'm like, I feel overwhelmed by that push too. And I think it's unnecessary pressure we're putting on ourselves. The other set of questions is about dating, because I've been sharing some stories about dating. If you didn't know, I've been dating. Let's see, how many people have I gone out with this year? I've definitely dated more this year than any year in the past. Gone on dates with 4 people. Planned dates with 2 additional people that didn't happen. So the reason people were asking is because on Instagram, I've told you twice that your girl keeps getting ghosted. Okay. Like, made a plan, set a date. That day we're talking about what to do. 2 p.m. we're like, okay, what restaurant? Let's look at a restaurant. Then they disappear. And I'm waiting for them to like respond and confirm, and they do not. And usually in those situations, I've like made plans to meet them after doing something else. So I'm like, I get completely ready. This is Flexitarian by ColourPop. I get completely ready, and then they don't respond to me, and they disappear. So let me just give you a little history of my dating this year. In January, on New Year's Eve itself, I met somebody at a bar. I don't often meet people in public places. Met him. He's a very nice guy. He actually had messaged me the other day and said he wanted to catch up. He's a very nice guy. It's just that, like, nothing picked up from there. I'm going to use hourglasses, dim light, ambient to kind of just, because this is lighter than a highlight. It's not as intense, but it still has a little bit of reflection to it. We had a good time going on dates, actually. I was a little bit sad when it ended, but I also didn't feel like it was going anywhere. It was like we went on a date and it was nice, but it wasn't like, oh, I need to talk to him all the time and I want him to be my boyfriend, So that kind of fell by the wayside by like the end of February. And in February, I was having like really busy time at work anyways. So we'll take a little bit of this. This is Ofra Highlighter Star Island. So that kind of ended. What is on here? Fuzz. And he said, hey, the other week, he was like, hey, do you want to catch up? And I honestly wouldn't mind seeing him again. The thing is, I don't know that it's going to go anywhere besides just like, hi, I enjoy being in your presence a little bit, and we have good dates, but like, it's not going anywhere. But at least I think he's a nice person, and I could enjoy going out. I don't, have anything else going on. But then at the very beginning of quarantine, I went out with a guy named Jake. Jake seemed very secretive or seemed very private. And I told him that he seemed very private. I'm someone who like puts everything out there, so I can tell when someone's private and they don't have Facebook, they don't have any other thing, And I went on a date with him, and it was kind of a little bit awkward. I couldn't get the sense that he was very attracted to me. We went to a park and we just kind of sat kind of distance, honestly, and talked. And he wouldn't, like, when we were talking online, I just didn't feel like the conversations were going anywhere. I didn't think I was getting to know him better day by day. In fact, I felt like, I'm not learning anything about you. Who are you? And he would just kind of like randomly send me videos of him singing. And I'm like, okay, but like, can we actually talk and like get to know you? Anyways, we were going to go on a date again. Actually, he wanted to come over to my house and I was going to. And I just woke up that day with a lot of anxiety and I was like, I don't want him to come over. I don't want him to be in my space. And so I canceled and I told him, I'm feeling anxiety about it. I've only met you once. I don't feel comfortable after all. I'm sorry. I thought I would feel comfortable. And he told me that my anxiety worried him because the girl he previously dated had anxiety and it was a problem in their relationship. And, I said, I can understand that, but I've only met you once and I'd feel more comfortable if we were meeting somewhere else. And his thing was he didn't feel comfortable. He said that at the park, he didn't feel comfortable expressing his interest in me because there were so many people around. I don't know how to feel about that. But anyways, long story short, we decided to stop talking. Didn't think anything about it until like 3 weeks ago. I saw his profile on OkCupid again, and he had a completely different name. His name is now Trace. Who is he? That one cracked me up. Because he was so secretive, I'm like, really, who are you? Do you have a girlfriend? Like, what's your deal? I don't know. I'm meeting a lot of guys who don't have Facebook or anything, and each one of them have been a little bit of a shady character, and I'm starting to be suspect of this whole, like, I don't have social media accounts. Not having social media accounts makes it really easy to hide stuff, and I don't know. I don't like it. I'm starting to not like it. It's starting to be a bad pattern. Anyways, then, I met a guy who, name was Jay. He was very, very, very physically attractive and in what I would consider a, typical, like one of those things, like when you see him, you'd say, yeah, our society finds him attractive. Very built, he had a six-pack, and we met and we had a good first date. I enjoyed it. And then our second date, he came over to my place and we just hung out. And it was very obvious that like he just, he wanted something super duper casual. And, I wasn't into it. So I haven't seen him since. He was a very nice guy. There's more to this, but like, I can't share it here on the internet. So that just kind of faded away. And that's when I realized, attractiveness only matters so much because I still didn't know who he was as a person. It was hard for me to feel anything towards him. But also, like, it made me realize, I'm not into casual. It doesn't have to be monogamous relationship for me right now because I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. But it has to be meaningful. And that's the thing I've decided. All right. So then I met a guy named Francisco. Very cute. And we went on a date and I found myself very attracted to him in person and he seemed very attracted back. And we honestly had a really good first date. It's the first date that I've had in a long time that I left excited about and thought like, I want to hang out with this person again, need to make this happen. And he said he felt the same way and he made plans and then he would like not respond to messages as soon as a plan was coming up. Like if we said, yeah, we're going to hang out this weekend, he would talk to me Tuesday through Thursday and then Friday through Sunday he's gone and he's not responding to things. A little suspect, made me wonder if he's in a relationship. And the first time it happened, I was like, you disappeared. Like we said, we're going to get together and you just completely disappeared the entire weekend. So we couldn't even set a certain date, right? He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I had family come over, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I really like this guy. And he says he likes me. I'm going to give him one more chance. Like, what do I have to lose? I'm not doing anything in my life right So I did give him another chance, and then it happened again, and I just was like, okay, bye. Sad, because I thought we had a connection, but I mean, if he was interested, he would come see me, and he would make an attempt. Then I had talked to, so this is where I just say, you know, sometimes finding men is plentiful, but it doesn't equal much. So, I had talked to this guy named Mitchell. He was 35. He seemed very mature. He did have a teenage daughter, and he just seemed like a normal guy, and he was very slow to do anything. So I actually asked him out. I said, hey, do you want to meet up? I'm going to be in Charlotte. We can meet after I'm done, blah, 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 blah. He said yes. We were talking that day about where to go, and then never responded to any message again. That's the day I said I got ghosted, and my friend came out and had dinner with me instead. So that sucked. I was really looking forward to meeting him. I messaged him. I was like, what happened? Like, I thought we were going to meet. And he just never responded. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he's a catfish. I don't know if he's married. I don't know what happened, but he never gave me a response to tell me what happened. Let's go full hog and do some false lashes. I think I'm going to reuse these. This is that Falscara stuff. This is like, these are the different Falscara ones. So this is like the lengthening ones, which is what I have right here. And these are the volumizing, which I've never used yet. And I just feel like too much for what I'm already doing anyways. These ones are the lengthening kind. You can reuse them, which is nice. So that happened. And then last week, there was a guy who I was supposed to meet up with. I was going to go out to dinner with my friends, and I was like, you know, afterwards, because he tended to always message me late at night anyways. I was like, afterwards, why don't we meet for a drink? He said, okay. And then we were supposed to meet, like, we were supposed to be meeting between 10 and 10:30. He didn't message me back until 10:15. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I'm about to head home. I haven't heard from you. And he said, oh, I was washing dishes and took a shower. You're washing dishes and taking a shower for 6 hours? Like, what? The excuses I get are just, like, mind-numbing. Mind-numbing. Like, what world am I in? And I was like, well, I'm going to head home. Like, we said you're going to go out today, and you have not messaged me, and you've left me hanging. And now I'm, like, not into it at all. And then he said... And then, like, he said he wasn't going to come out anyways because he was uncomfortable because of COVID-19. Let me just say, that is a perfectly reasonable excuse to not want to go out. But you should be telling people that. And you probably shouldn't be on a dating site right now if you're not going to be willing to meet people in public, because it is dangerous to meet people at your home for the first time you've ever met them. So, like, to ask me to do that is just rude, in my opinion. And I was like, well, you could have told me that. I was like, it's not the fact that we're not meeting today. You not telling me is a problem. And I'm just like, I'm 30. I'm 32. I'm in my 30s. I still have to explain this to people. Why? Like, this is where it's exhausting. This is where I'm like, delete everything. And so that didn't happen. So my last few dating attempts have been horrible. Yesterday, I was talking to a guy. He seemed really nice at first. He was from, supposedly, I don't know if any people, I just kind of assume everyone's lying to me at this point. He's from Poland originally, and so we did have some language barrier stuff. He's been here for a while, though. And, he is like, he was messaging me and being like, our love for one another will be so great. And I'm like, excuse me, I don't know you. What? And then, like, he was already being like, have you eaten? You need to eat. You need to eat early in the morning. I'm like, I'm 32. I've been taking care of myself for a while. No, sir. This is not what I like. And he was saying that I'm not open to love. And let me just say, he might be right. He might be right. Because I'm not open to like just anything. And I flat out told him, when someone acts like they love me and they don't know me, that freaks me out. That's actually one of the things that happens the most on Instagram. I'm like, sir, we're strangers. You don't love me. And I will never, this one's wonky, I will never want someone to love me without knowing me. Let me just say that too. I want you to know me a lot, in and out, and then decide you love me, okay? Let's make sure this is a thing built on actual knowledge versus whatever is going on in your head to make you think that. So, that was weird. And pretty much, my dating has slowed down over the past, couple weeks because everyone's ghosting me or everyone's freaking me out. Guys, is this what dating is? I guess it is. It's really sad. Voila. All right, you put a bond underneath, like mascara, then you put the lashes on underneath, and then you put the seal on. Let me just say, I've always tried to do like the top down lashes. Never could get them to work for me. But this works, and I will say they're kind of intense. Especially if you're someone like me who does not wear lashes on an even weekly basis. And so you definitely feel it as different than normal. And I will say, like, whenever you have the fresh batch, they're maybe going to be a little bit more uniform in direction than this one is. These have been used before. Okay. So that's dating, guys. I mean, is dating even worth it anymore? I don't know. I am not meeting anyone that's normal. And the people that I think are normal are absolutely just not treating me in a respectful way. So, it is what it is. If people ask why I'm single, use this video as evidence, okay? I'm trying. I'm meeting people, but they don't know how to treat people well. Okay, so the last questions were about, one of them asked if I've ever dealt with a boyfriend whose family, was fat phobic, and then I've also was asked about kind of like my top 3 to 5 go-to outfits, my favorite brands, and how I'm coping, which I feel like I've already kind of shared, is that, like, I'm not coping well. So, let me curl my lash first. I've never dealt with a boyfriend's family who's fat phobic because I've never had, a boyfriend. I had someone I dated off and on for 3 years. I did meet his dad, and his dad was one of those people that just, like, doesn't share opinions at all. So if he had an opinion, he didn't share it. I did, this person was pretty much, always attracted to bigger women. So he had already dated plenty of bigger women before me. Apparently he's had some friends who have been like, what's up with your attraction to bigger women? And he's told me that, and I will say it does affect my opinion of his friends. And so maybe he shouldn't tell people that. So, no, I haven't dealt with it, and, honestly, unless it impacts me, meaning I'm going to have to deal with, like, someone's mom saying rude comments, I'd rather not know. Like, if they say something to the person I'm dating and that person's like, well, too bad, like, just keep it to yourself. I don't need to know, because it will make me not like these people. So, no, I haven't personally dealt with it. I have dealt with, like, I feel like that's part of the problem is right now I'm meeting people who are slightly fat phobic. I don't know. Like, they're attracted, but they don't necessarily want to be seen with me in public. That's why they keep wanting to meet me at their house. Or they just really are hoping, even though I've never, like, indicated interest in it, that, like, I'd be down for hookup. That's probably also happening. They picked the wrong person, if that's what they were hoping for. Do you see how fast that was? Like, it just sticks to it. And you can move it if you need to. And then I just kind of pinch it together. This eye came together much more fluidly than the other eye did. The other eye, there's like some separation between pieces a little bit. Yeah, this eye came together really fast. And then, what did I say the other question was? The other question, oh, my top 3 to 5 outfits. Oh, so I have found my perfect dating outfit. I will put it up. It is a kind of like slightly v-neck black tee. This one that I've been wearing is from Ella Queen, has like ruching down the front, which I think is like a sexy little touch. Tucked into high waist jeans, you know, show off your curves now. And hair in waves. And then I either do, I mean, my friends told me to do the headband. I decided not to do headbands because some guys are very against headbands. I do gold jewelry, so I've been doing these gold hoops with an ear cuff and a medallion necklace. That has been my date power outfit, and I will say every day I've worn it to has gone well. Whether the men have like been into the same thing as me or treated me well afterwards is another thing. But it's worked in terms of like they're very attracted to me in that outfit. I also have been really enjoying soft dresses, so dresses from Rachel Pally. Just kind of like an easy throw on one dress and an accessory type outfit has been really good. Alright, I've been trying this Clinique mascara. I really like it. It's Lash Power Mascara because my eyes have been super sensitive to mascara, which is funny because they're not that sensitive to this. So I'm just going to throw this on the bottom line. It's a very thin wand. I prefer this over like the very thick, like the very big wands. I'm just like, I'm getting a mess. I like the precision of a thin wand. My family really is going to be like, where are you going? Okay. And then I'm going to use e.l.f. This is a clear brow and lash mascara. I just use both ends on my brows until it's over. So those, and I've been loving clay earrings. So like any kind of basic outfit that allows me to show off with an earring instead. You know, I like a white tee with, I've been liking tucked in shirts with high-waisted jeans and dresses that are like one color that I can wear a lot of accessories with. That's been my go-to lately. I've also been really loving activewear. Yeah. So I gave you 2 outfits. I've been getting dressed lately. I don't know what kind of outfits I love anymore. Let's do the lip, because I know you've been looking at that like little line right here that's horrifying. I can never remember to take it off before we get to this point, and I'm always like, people are probably horrified. But it is what it is. This is from Ulta. It's eye makeup and lip makeup remover, but it's just good. I like it on my lips. It's gentle and easy. As far as coping, again, I'm not coping well. If I could lay in my bed every day, listen to podcasts, and got some other makeup off, and color on my phone coloring app, I'd be a happy little person, you know? It's managing everything else that's been hard, and I'm not doing that well right now. Not doing it well. Did you just hear Lola snore and wake herself up? Hilarious. Okay. I don't have like my typical, I keep my like my main lip products in my purse. So these are kind of, you know, offshoots. Let's do a liquid lip. This is Auckland by Mellow Cosmetics. It's a little bit deeper, but you know, I already got a lot of makeup going on. Might as well just throw on this as well. I find Mellow Cosmetics liquid lips like the only ones I can put on that don't like go everywhere in the world on me. Somehow they stay. Oh, Big Brother started. So, Big Brother All-Stars. Guys, I've been so down. I'm just so happy that Big Brother All-Stars is on. I got nothing else to do with my time. So, I'm very excited. If you ever want to talk Big Brother, hop in my DMs. Maybe we can do a live chat one day, just talk Big Brother. I've also been watching Below Deck. This is my life. Let's do something with this hair. Oh, actually, setting spray. I think I have a little bit of this left. I really like this Morphe Continuous Spray. I know people don't like Morphe, but the spray is good. And see, once I have all my makeup on, I don't see the scaliness that was happening when I first put on, especially with the setting spray, the scaliness that was happening with the foundation. I'm gonna let that dry. All right, I'm gonna go dry my hair. Just curled my hair. All I do is like literally go shoop, 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 shoop. 2 layers, bottom, top, and then I let it sit, and then I go. Done. My hair's up here. Oh my gosh, from like putting my hair back so much, or just, you know, their struggle busting. I usually like to tuck this. Especially because I like to put an earring on. So what I think I'll do, like I've already put makeup on. Let me just get an outfit together, and then I'll end it on that, okay? Let's do an outfit. What's going on out there? Is there anything going on out there? No? Nothing? Just a boring day? Lonely? I love you. Do you love me? You gonna look at me? You're not gonna look at me. Lonely. Oh, do you even love me? You hate the camera. But what if I get you a cookie? If I get you a cookie, will you love me? Okay. Well, I love you.